Hello, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to this is actually episode number 10 of The Edge.
Wow.
I think like the last like 2 times I've been like, what is this, episode 10? This is actually episode 10.
Well, we've learned one thing. Sean can't count.
Sean does know how to count eventually. Just takes a few times. Like I actually went back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna count now how many episodes we've done. Such an idiot. So anyways, welcome to episode number 10 of The Edge. We are going to be covering Elemental Shamans tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about how easy they are to play and how basically if you don't play a Resto Shaman, you're an idiot. It's probably going to be the main point of this whole shindig.
Really?
I still got the music playing too. I might just keep the music playing for a while. What the hell? What was I going to say? So if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure to follow us right there in the middle of the screen. We actually did just jump onto Stitcher Radio. So if you can't catch us live or you don't want to watch the YouTube video, you can always take us on the go for the podcast as well. So we'll provide details of all that on our Twitter. So follow us over there. So, Alex, you have anything to say before we get started tonight? I kind of don't want the music to stop.
I can't hear the music, unfortunately.
I can.
Yeah, well, I know. No, how are you?
You know, I'm not bad. I've been leveling this alliance. The hell is it? This well, I don't know why I'm brain farting. Warlock.
Oh.
So I've been doing it on Culturists, the Twizz's guild. I've kind of snuck in. I've kind of infiltrated it, right? No one knows.
All right.
And
Sneaky Warlock.
yeah. So I'm level like 58, and I actually just picked up a Elixir of Ancient Knowledge like 2 days ago, and I don't know when to use it. I don't know if I should use it for Northrend or use it for Outland. Like I don't know which one I want to go through faster. I think I'm gonna do it with Northrend. And I farmed him all day today. I killed him like 6 times, and I didn't get another one. Like what the hell, man?
I have one of those, but I've not used it yet because I'm also like completely,
It's like when to use it.
Undecisive
Yeah.
between well, I wouldn't use it for Outland because Outland is really quick nowadays, in my opinion. But a Northrend is really, really slow, and I'm kind of not feeling the kata content either. So I would probably like.
It only works up to 84.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, but I think it's Northrend, and I'm gonna skip it, even though. Because I've done BC Northrend quest like so much, dude. I am so sick of doing that crap. So, anyways, like that's what I've been doing. I've been leveling that guy up, and I think I'm just gonna do some PvP, with that guy.
Yeah.
Because I've never played on a PvE server before. Normally, I've played on like Manaroth, and I've played on Shattered Hand, and all these PvP realms. So this is a first for me to be able to actually not get killed as I'm leveling. It's a little weird.
Well, like I said, I leveled my second priest on a PvP server, and I was really disappointed. I didn't get ganked like once.
That's weird.
Well, actually, no, that was a lie. Once I got ganked, and it was coming out of the portal to the Dark Portal, like in the Blasted Lands. There was some alliance because I was playing Horde at the time that just pretty much made minced meat out of everyone who came out of that portal. There were skeletons everywhere, and that's the only time it ever happened. I was really disappointed. Like I somehow had this idealized vision of a PvP server, like constantly doing battle out in the world and everything, but
just wasn't the same, huh?
No.
Well, I think that's the good thing with this Elixir too, is that like since I am on a PvE server, I don't have to worry about getting ganked.
Yeah. Well, I suppose like once you get to the Timeless Isle, with the Celestials and everything, it seems like a lot of people are doing doing battle there, and not necessarily killing the Celestials.
I think this is like a medium pop server too. The Culturist is medium, so. And actually, Shattered Hand, like I mean, my original server was Manaroth. That's the server that I've been playing on since day one, of
Hmm.
release, right? Because it was only like a handful of servers when the game first came out, and that was full for a very very long time, and now it's not even a full server anymore. Like so many people transferred off, and that was one of the servers where they allowed a free transfer guild. It wasn't just a single character; it was guild transfers. They
Oh
allowed.
wow.
Remember, like they did that for
Never
a
heard
short.
of that
Yeah,
actually.
they did it for a short period of time because like there were
Okay.
certain servers that were just so overpopulated that they wanted to spread everyone out a little bit. I think this was maybe in like Wrath,
Okay.
right?
Well, makes sense.
Maybe like a little like halfway through Wrath or something like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and they added in a bunch of servers. Like they did a bunch of like maintenance and repairs, and they got a whole bunch more servers up. And they're like, all right, like no, if you're on one of these realms, and they listed it, one of them was mine. They're like, you can transfer your whole guild, like I think it's like your whole guild, everything in the guild bank, and then like I think it was like one character for free. But if you wanted to like
Oh
transfer
wow.
alts, like it wasn't like you couldn't transfer the whole count. It was just like one character you wanted,
Uh,
but your whole guild, like everything would stay. You just transfer it. So,
okay.
um, what have you been doing?
Well, I've been leveling another monk
Oh my god, that's like
on
the sixth one.
n- no,
Yeah,
just like
all right, it's like the fourth one.
yeah, well, third technically, because
I mean, you leveled one
yeah,
with me.
I did. Yeah, I do have two level 90
Yeah.
monks, one sitting at 85 at the moment, and then I have another baby monk that I don't know what to do
Is
with,
your
but
85 on EU or US?
my 87 is on EU.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I got 185, and I was gonna level it with you,
Aw,
but it's on
man.
mine's on US, obviously. So
Well, I have
never
a
mind.
shaman level 80
Well, that's close
on
enough.
the US servers.
We'll do that then.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, in I've been leveling it in a guild with just all monks, an all monk guild, which is really fun. Everyone's geeking out about monks and uh,
So how are those
you
loot
know.
rolls going for you?
Well, we've not gotten that far yet. So,
Yeah, exactly what I thought. That will be fun. No,
mm.
it's mine. No, that's mine. No, that's
Mine?
mine. That's
Right?
mine.
Yeah, no, but it's fun. It's a fun initiative, I think. And
That's mine.
and yeah, I've been raiding, killing Garrosh. Woo!
Nice.
Yeah. Um, and moving on to heroic bosses, and yeah,
You've been busy. See, I've just been leveling. That's what I've been doing. I've
yeah.
just been doing a lot of the old going back and because I got a couple of my friends that play again, like a couple of my old buddies that I used to raid with all the time, and we are like, like those hardcore raider guys that are
Hmm.
raiding like 6 nights a week and stuff. Like two of them took a break. They stepped back because one guy has a wife and 3 kids. He's in the military, and the other guy's going for like esports management in college, and he had like a long distance relationship. So we both kind of like that. They both kind of took a step back from the game, and I was
Hmm.
started my warlock, and I was only like level like 12 or something. And I was on Skype with them, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just leveling this warlock, just for fun, just because why not?" And I somehow convinced them to start playing again, right? And within 2 days, right, because we had a really bad snowstorm here in North Carolina, so like that's when I was playing, and like within 2 days, one of them got to 85, the other one got
Oh my
to
God.
81, and I was like level 38 or something like that. I was like, "What do you guys do?"
Crazy
Like,
people.
and all they had was heirlooms. Like, they didn't use any elixirs. They didn't like, it's just straight playing for like 15 hours a day. I'm like,
Oh
dude,
my
you guys are
God.
crazy. Like, how do you
There's so
do
many
that?
people that do that. They just play World of Warcraft in bursts,
Yeah,
and then they burn out,
yeah. And
and
then
then
I've
after a
they
while
haven't
they
logged in
just
like
go
three
like,
days. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
But
Okay.
anyway,
We actually gotta talk about elemental shamans, don't we?
we do.
Yeah. I was having
Oh,
fun.
you don't like
I
elemental
was I was
shamans?
having fun. Anyways, per
Oh, I'm
usual, we're gonna
sorry.
go the same route as we always do. Talents, glyphs,
Hmm.
rotation stats, yada yada. This actually probably be besides our 12-minute banter, will probably actually be a pretty quick episode about the actual elemental shaman itself because there's actually not a lot to discuss. It's a pretty straightforward class.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
couple of things here and there we can obviously talk about, but it's unlike some of the other classes we've done. This is actually pretty easy. So, um, for a couple of these, like for the first couple tier talents, like tier 1 is for survival. Astral Shift is your best choice, um, because it absorbs damage. That's I mean that's what you want. The other two are,
It's a defensive cooldown.
yeah,
It's a survival cooldown.
yeah.
It's
It's still really nice though. I mean, it reduces damage by 40% for 6 seconds. I mean, that's
oh
great.
yeah,
I mean, who
it's
wouldn't want
perfect.
that? That's a really great talent. So
Mhm.
you don't really, that's pretty simple. What tier 2? You want to take tier 2 for funsies?
For
For
funsies.
funsies.
Well, basically, it's the crowd control talents. You got your Earthgrave Totem, you got, Frozen Power, and you got Windwalk Totem, which is the Windwalk Totem is probably the best one if you're looking for PvE because it grants immunity to movement impairing effects to all party and raid members within 40 yards for 6 seconds, and it also, moves moving impairing effects that are already on people.
Right.
Whereas like Earth Grab Totem and stuff, it's quite. I mean, in comparison to what other classes can bring to a raid, it's not that good, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Windwalker totem is what most people use, and it's kind of your default choice. So that's also pretty straightforward
Hmm.
talent tier. Tier 3 is where you can start to switch it up a little bit. Call of the Elements, and is what a lot of people will use as their go-to talent for this tier. Um, I have also seen a lot of people go with Totemic Projection because it saves you a global cooldown. So if you want to move your totems around without sacrificing a global to do so, some people also consider that their go-to just because that they feel more comfortable doing it like that because your totems are so
Mm.
important in terms of your DPS. So it
I mean, if you have a lot of movement, it's very good,
yeah, it
I'd
really
say.
is. So I think we say it every single damn show, and we'll probably continue to say it. Is that it depends on the situation. You gotta know the fight. You gotta know your role in the fight. Blah blah blah. If you've watched the show, you know what I'm gonna say. So, but Call of the Elements. Call of the Elements. It still doesn't trigger gold cooldown, but it does reset the cooldown of your totems. But it's gonna be like your base totems. It's like your standard totems. Nothing too overpowered there. So,
Mm.
um, tier 4 has designed to improve your performance. So, um, a lot of people like to take Echo of the Elements or Elemental Mastery. The haste is really great. So if you have a lot of burn phases, like say you're getting stuck in a progressive boss and the burn phase is just too much, you guys just can't put out enough DPS. Elemental Mastery will be a great talent to pick up there because it does increase your haste for 30%. And 20 seconds is a long time, especially if you're going to be
It's like a
stacking it.
miniature heroism,
Yeah,
or
if
bloodlust for
if you're
you
if you're
hoardies
gonna
out
stack
there.
it with like Ascendance or anything like that, like it's really nice. So.
Mm.
But Echoes of Elements will provide you with the most DPS as it scales with your gear, um, like overall. But if you do need that burst damage, like Elemental Mastery is definitely
Mm.
preferred there. So um, it just depends on your raid makeup and how everything's. I mean, God, let's see, I'm saying it again. You know what I'm gonna say.
Yep. We're
Just
not going to say
depends.
it anymore.
It just
It's
depends.
it's it's just forbidden.
This whole show should just be like we should just be like, you know what?
Do
Just
whatever
it
you
just it
want.
just depends.
It's what what's the encounter? What's the situation?
Just depends.
Just choose.
Didn't work? Just pick the other one. Didn't work? Well, you fucked up somewhere. uh,
Yeah. Tier 5 is healing cooldowns. Um,
hooray. Healing for DPS.
well, it's not bad to have an extra cooldown. Definitely
Yeah.
not.
I mean, if you pick conductivity as an elemental shaman, there's something wrong with your guild or your raid leader. Like, they're clearly not smart, or you're in a shitty guild. Listen, listen. You need to use all your heals, even though you're DPSing. It's like, no, I don't. You're terrible. Get better healers. That's
Yeah.
my input on tier 5. Don't pick conductivity. because then you're an
Go
idiot.
with astral guidance.
Yeah.
I mean, that
That.
will give you heals while you do damage.
Yeah.
Bosh. It's
Yeah.
great.
Plus, like you don't realize like how much heals you can put out. Um, Especially if you are using like I said, if that is stacked with Ascendants where you're getting a lot of this free damage out, or
Hmm.
you're stacking with like Chain Lightning, that kind of stuff. It's a lot of healing. Like you'd be really surprised at how much you can help out the healers with using Ancestral Guidance. So that's definitely one of the ones to pick out. Tier 6 is just so much to say.
So
It's
much.
just so much.
And what is it that we're gonna say that we're not allowed
It's
to
up
say
to
anymore?
it's up to you. It depends on the
Mm.
fight. It depends on Unleashed Fury is good. It increases the damage you with Lightning Bolt by 30% and with Lava Burst by 10%. So it's just that extra damage output. Elemental Blast is your second other viable option here. But a lot of people say Primal Elementalist can be good because of
Hmm.
the extra, like it's kind of like a Warlock. You get to like summon your elements, your pets, to do
Hmm.
damage. Um, but I've seen it done. I've seen it done all three ways. Like in doing the research, I've seen everyone say, "Well, this is great for this fighter. Or this is great because of this is the way my guild is made up." So yeah. What do you think? Like, what is? Let's hear.
Oh my
What do you think?
goodness. I tested out some of these cooldowns earlier today
Hmm.
with my little dwarf chamois.
The
I
dwarfs.
don't have a target, she tells me all the time. Uh,
It's because she's drunk.
which, yeah,
Stupid dwarf.
I can't see.
They don't know anything.
Everything's blurry. No, I truly apologize to any Scottish person out there. My impressions are horrible. Uh,
Well,
Unleashed Fleet Fury seems to be quite nice. I mean, it's increases the damage you do with lightning bolts by 30% and your lava burst by 10 for 10 seconds.
yeah.
So, those are two of your most common spells in
Hmm.
your rotation. Um, I mean, Primal Elementalist. I use that a lot whilst healing. That's you get a
It's
special version of your Earth Elemental or your Fire Elemental.
it's also good for
Uh,
AoE.
uh, yeah, and they deal like 80% more damage.
Yeah. So for
Um,
burst damage or AoE, Primal Elementalist is really great.
yeah, and also if you need like a defensive cooldown, because you can pop like reinforce from the Earth Elemental, which will decrease the damage you take by 20%. Also increase healing, but it's maybe.
Well, I mean, that's good if you picked up Ancestral Guidance, which you should.
Hmm.
Which you
So
should.
during like times of heavy damage where you need to like get past the phase really quickly, this might be good.
It's because the Shaman, like especially the Elemental Shaman, is like a really weird hybrid class, but that's what makes it unique.
Yeah, I mean it's got so much utility, and we're not going to go through like every single
Oh god,
totem
no.
tonight. That
So
that would take ages,
but it's
and
weird
that's something that you need to explore yourself.
because it's like
It,
your range and you do damage, but you're also healing. You can also heal too and help with the healers. That's what's interesting about this particular class and spec. But
hmm
from a lot of the research that I've done and some of the things that I've read is that everyone basically tells me, at least for this 5.4, if you're not playing Resto, then you're just an idiot. Like Elemental Shaman just isn't holding its weight right now to where it should. But quick side note, I watched this really funny video
hmm
earlier today about like Vanilla WoW rating.
All right.
Yeah, and this one guy's like, "Oh, you think Vanilla WoW rating is so much better than what's going on now? Well, let me tell you all the classes you couldn't play." And he listed like every class and every spec except for like three. It was hilarious. He's like, "So it was really that much better, huh?" And Elemental Shaman was one of them, so it just made me think of that. It was funny.
I see.
Yeah, it's like you can't play Holy, you can't play Red Paladin, can't play Elemental Shaman, can't play.
Everything sucks.
You pretty much can't play anything in Warlock. Like you can't. Everything's terrible. So I just made me
Yeah.
think of that. Elemental Blast can be good if you don't have any movement because it's on a 12-second cooldown and it will enable you to maintain a 66% uptime on a buff that will change randomly every time you refresh it. So it could be crit, haste, mastery, whatever. So, but the thing is with crit's terrible. So, you know, lava burst is your main damage dealer, and it always crits. So,
Yeah.
you really want to stack mastery. That's the one you'd want.
Well, does it always crit? Isn't it like a 50%
No, it's
chance?
crits all the time. It's guaranteed crit. You're gonna make me look it up, aren't you?
Yes. I think it has a 50% chance to crit when you have flame shock on your target. But maybe that's just me. But yeah.
Lava burst. It's just 50.
Still,
It's 50% additional damage.
Oh right, okay. Never mind me then.
It's guaranteed to crit.
Okay.
That's why like it goes, which we'll talk about later. It's
Mhm.
intellect, and then mastery.
Yeah.
Like you don't need crit. Crit is terrible.
Mm.
So
I mean, haste could be nice.
haste. Well,
Casting quicker.
if you have like extra space somewhere, like blue, like some blue gems or some shit, like you can throw some haste in there. The haste is good. But yeah, lava burst always crits. So like you don't need. That's the only drawback with elemental blast is that if you do get like the crit, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean for other things it's nice because lava burst is the only thing that's guaranteed to crit, but it's not a,
It's not the best that you want
yeah,
out of that
that's not
talent.
ideal.
I mean, it's not gonna screw you over. It's just
No.
not gonna be very good either.
From another thing that, from what I understand, is that
Like,
if
oh no, crit! Ah, I'm melting. I'm melting.
crit is terrible.
I'm critting. Oh my god.
With Unleash Fury 2, from the notes that we've kind of dug up is that it's really preferred like really late game rating, like to like tier 16 heroic gear levels, and then it's optimal for your single target fights.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind too, and that's what's interesting about this particular talent tree, or these three, is that it's going to be switching around a lot depending on your gear level and in the fight itself and all that. So that's interesting. A lot of them just kind of stay the same. But this will move according to you. Like I don't know, it's a little bit different, which is interesting. So there you go. I don't know, which one would you pick if you could pick which one of the three? Which one are we going with here?
I would pick Elemental
Blast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Elemental Blast or Primal Elementalist. I can't decide. I'm undecisive.
Pick one of the two.
I don't want to.
Person watching, pick one of the two. There's a good chance
No.
you're probably gonna. There's a good chance you're gonna win. I mean, if you're already playing an elemental shaman, you're probably terrible anyways. So don't worry about it. No one cares.
Yeah.
It's just LFR, bro. Relax. So we're gonna go into glyphs. Some major glyphs that you're definitely gonna want to pick up are one for certain is Chain Lightning. It does strike 2 additional targets at 10% less damage. It is not really a significant DPS loss losing the 10%, because until you actually see it hitting those extra targets, like you're just gonna see numbers be like it's gonna be great. So that is one of the glyphs you most certainly would want to have.
Interesting.
Because if it hits 4 or 5 targets, like think about how much damage that is. Like you can crit, like one Chain Lightning can crit for like 100k easy. Hitting like 4 targets, 400k.
Yeah.
Boom.
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 Yeah. No, it's a glyph you will want. And you got the glyph of Fire Elemental Totem, which reduces the cooldown and duration of your Fire Elemental by 50%.
Yep.
Which means you will have a duration of 30 seconds instead of 1 minute, but a cooldown of 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes instead of 5, so you can like do it twice as often. I mean, if you can't just stand and nuke for a minute, this could be a good glyph, because otherwise you'll lose a lot of DPS from your elemental. Yeah. So it's a little situational.
Yeah. You know, you're not supposed to say that word.
I'm
You
sorry.
did anyways.
Am I fined
You
something now
lose
or?
cool points. You don't know what cool points are.
Oh,
You know what Happy Days
no.
is? You know that show?
Yes,
Okay. But
I do.
there was a Happy Days board game, and the whole point of it was to collect cool points.
Oh,
You
I
just
don't
lost
think
cool
I had
points.
any cool points to start with.
Well, now you're negative. Now you owe me cool
Oh,
points when you get them.
God.
One of the another glyph that's worth mentioning that is kind of worth it,
Mm-hmm.
and it can really come in handy or not is the glyph
Or
of
not.
grounding totem. Well, I mean the reason why I say that is because it turns grounding totem into a damaging ability that reflects a harmful spell back to its caster. So like
Hmm.
that could that can be pretty nice. You know, it's either gonna
I
save
mean,
you
if
or
you
it's
if you
not.
can pop it for a really big attack, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's not all so bad. It ain't
Kind of feels
bad.
a little bit more like a PvP thing, if
But
you wanna.
it's definitely viable in PvE though. It definitely
Oh,
is.
sure, sure. But I mean,
So
if you see, the Warlock cast their 3 minutes, 3 second long giant shadow bolt or whatever it is, Chaos Bolt. There we go. Um, you might want
yeah,
to pop a grounding totem.
right, exactly. Like that.
So,
That's perfect.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, Glyph of Spirit Walker is nice because it increases the duration of Spirit Walker, which allows you to, run for 20 seconds, and be able to cast.
Right.
So, if you want to move a lot in an encounter, that's good.
Mm.
Um,
Alex did not drink enough Red Bull. She is
I'm
tired.
sorry. I have had enough Red Bull, believe me. I just I don't get any perkier than this.
This is it, everyone.
Yeah,
This is as best you're
I'm
gonna get.
I'm a sloth, basically. It's just like
That's revealing. Um, do you want to hit up
we
any of the other major glyphs, or do you want to just jump to the minors real quick? There's only one
mm.
minor that I just want to just mention, which is Glyph of Thunderstorm, because it gets rid of the knockback, which is really awesome. So
Yeah, and I kind of want to point out there's a glyph called Glyph of the Lake Strider, which allows you to walk on water whilst you're in Ghost Wolf form. Uh, what this basically does is just cast water walking on you every time you go into Ghost Wolf, which will trigger another global cooldown. So I don't think it's so good. Like not PvP, and certainly not if you have it in a PvE encounter and you pop Ghost Wolf and you waste global cooldowns on water walking. Um, don't use it. Go for the glyph that allows you to have frogs rain from the sky. Um,
Froggies.
the fact that they haven't made that like an option for healing rain, like healing frogs, splat 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 splat, is pretty much a scandal. Shamans need healing frogs. And you can turn people not only into frogs but little raptors now, which is kind of cool. They have many really fun minor glyphs.
Alex is
And
she's all about the cosmetics of the game, you know. That's what it's
well,
about.
someone has to be. My God.
It's all about the cosmetics.
Little raptors, Sean. Little
Cosmetics.
raptors. It's just awesome. And raining frogs like splat splat splat. I miss the noise. That there should be like a splat noise. It's not. Makes me sad.
Where do you think our money goes when we pay for our
I don't
subscription?
know.
It doesn't go
I
into
don't.
that. It goes into
Well,
things
it
we don't even
should.
know.
It really should.
Well, you should write a complaint.
I will.
Be like, hey, this
Where
doesn't
is my
happen.
splatting
This
noise?
is BS.
Yeah.
Something else that's really nice. We're gonna move on into rotations, but rotation for
Fine.
the elemental shaman is actually pretty simple. Um, so
It's very pew pewy.
uh, for single
Because you will. Yeah, go for it.
Well, for single target, it's pretty basic. I mean, it's you keep in flame shock up, and there's add-ons you can use to track that, but you want to refresh it, right around 3 seconds left. You're gonna do lava burst on cooldown or on up every proc of lava surge. You're gonna be doing your lava burst again. Um, when you have 6 or 7 charges of lightning shield, you can cast your earth shock. You always want to keep the searing totem up. That's one of the ones you're gonna put down at the beginning of the fight, anyways. And then you get lightning bolt as your filler. I mean, that's
Mm.
your basic.
And you can cast it whilst moving.
That's it. So it's like searing totem down. Make sure flame shock's up. Lava burst, earth shock. When you get 6, 7 charges, lightning bolt, done. Like, yay, you're the best. This is like
Bosh.
this is like one of the easiest rotations I think we've ever done.
It's not hard. It's very pew-pewy, so and ergo, very satisfying. Like every lava burst that procs is just like kapow. Um,
Can you do that again?
and kapow.
That was better. The second one was way better.
Okay,
The first one was
I'll
kind
work
of
on my
iffy.
kapowing.
You should. What do you think Blizzard plays you for? Nothing. They pay you to kapow. You could be their official kapower.
mm, I could record a noise for like a battle pet or something.
Oh.
Okay.
So if you did
Um,
pick up Elemental Blast as tier 6, you should be using that on cooldown as
mm,
well, especially like at the start of the fight and whenever it's necessary. Now, if it's obviously something you need to wait for because of burst damage or anything like that, you obviously want to wait and use it when it's necessary. Of course, that's after keeping your Flame Shock and your Lava Burst up on your target. So you want to make sure Flame Shock, Lava Burst are going on, and then you throw in Elemental Blast as well. But like I said, you want to use it when necessary. It's also best to stack it with Ascendants, so you can choose to do that burst damage when needed if that's something that your guild is struggling with, or raid leader calls out, or again you're playing an Elemental Shaman, so you're probably not the brightest. So just let someone else tell you. Let someone else tell you what to do, like what
oh
we're
my
doing right
goodness.
now. Listen, this is
Ah.
the way this game works. Every like 3 months, like there's a class that's terrible, and this is the class that's terrible. So it's not terrible. It's just not good.
I think it's good. I like it.
It's not good. It's not
It's an
optimal.
enjoyable class to
It's
play.
fun. It's just not optimal. That's
Well,
it.
no, but if you were gonna go after like flavor of the month classes, you'd have to
Would you would
switch
not pick this?
like every month.
That's why people watch the show because they're loving somebody else. See, bingo. Um, if you did pick Unleashed Fury instead of Elemental Blast, then Unleashed Elements becomes part of your rotation as your main priority after keeping Flame Shock up. So you do your Searing Totem, your Flame Shock, and then Unleash Elements. Okay. So that's just a little bit of changing depending on how you're going to pick your tier 6. And everything else stays the same. So Searing Totem, Flame Shock, whatever it is you're going to be picking for your tier 6 talent. Um, Lava Burst, Lava Burst again on your surges. Earth Shock when you have 6, 7 charge. Lightning Shield. Lightning Bolt. Start over. Flame Shock. Lava Burst. La la la. Okay, you got it. You want to do multiple targets?
Well, it's not so much to say, flame shock as many mobs as you can if you wanna. You can maintain your single turret rotation on one of them, throw in some chain lightning, thunderstorm, earthquake.
Annoying with this class is boring. I mean, it's flame shocking. You're gonna be pretty much maintaining your single target rotation for like 2 enemies, replacing lightning bolt with chain lightning. For 3 enemies, you're gonna flame shock, blah blah blah, get them all flame shocked. Replace lightning bolt with chain lightning, like I said before. You also want to use earth shock, with 6 or 7 stacks of lightning shield.
Mm.
Once it gets beyond 3, you're looking at between like 4 to 6, or more. It's chain lightning and thunderstorm. So, and then you just kind of forget your whole single target DPS after about 4. You just chain lightning, thunderstorm, chain lightning, whatever. So that's pretty simple.
Stand there and looking pretty.
Yeah, stand there and pretty much watch YouTube videos like this one.
Yeah.
or listen to us on Stitcher Radio, like you are right now. We're proud of you.
Dun, dun, dun.
We can talk about like shield and weapon improves if you want, but I mean it's not really. Um,
It's nothing complicated.
no,
You want to keep your lightning shield up, and thanks to Rolling Thunder, that will, which is a passive ability. Um, when you deal damage with lightning bolt or chain lightning, you will have a 60% chance to recover mana, which is nice, and also to generate additional stacks for your lightning shield,
so it can last for
additional
like an hour.
charges. Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
that's nice.
Yeah, remember when I had to have like weak auras and macros to remind me of to refresh my
Back in
shield.
my day, paladin
Same thing.
buffs were 5 minutes, and you needed Symbol of Damn Kings to do it. You'd always fucking forget them.
And I had
Summon me
candles.
back. Summon me back in
I
AQ.
needed to carry around a bunch of candles to give everybody stamina. Yeah, I don't do the
That
whole
was
the old
terrible.
grumpy person things as well as you do, but yes, they've improved a lot of things over the years.
Yeah, well, they've definitely made it a lot less. Um, you got to be a lot less conscious of those things. I mean, it just kind of happens now. You don't have to really think about it as much, you know.
Mm.
Even though I kind of
Just
wish.
remember that when you die, you need to reapply it.
I just wish they'd bring back some of the old stuff though. Like I like the attunement stuff, and I thought it was cool that like going back to like the old WoW video, like it reminded me a lot of stuff. Is that like even though like raids like MC and Blackwing Lair were like in
Mm.
the game on release,
Yeah.
you couldn't get into them for like a long time.
No.
So it's like, and I miss that because like speaking of this like lightning shield and like it makes it easier. It's like some parts of the game like that were kind of enjoyable because when you get to that certain like end game with the raiders,
Mm-hmm.
like even though everyone was really fucking terrible at World of Warcraft and vanilla. I mean, everyone was terrible. If you sit there and tell me you were an awesome player in vanilla, you are just a liar. So because you weren't, you were terrible and you know it. And the reason why you were terrible is because the game was kind of terrible and you just didn't realize it yet. Because like plate had like intellect, attack power, stamina, like it's just everything was just fucking terrible. So what I'm saying though is that it was cool to like. Do you remember like warrior quests? Like never mind. Okay, listen.
Yes, I've done it. I've
Okay,
done it.
so like every 10 levels, like each class had like specific quests they would do. Like warriors were every like 10 levels, and like
Mm-hmm.
I remember like my friend had to go get his berserker stance. Like berserker stance just wasn't given to you. Like you had to
No.
go on this long ass quest chain to go get berserker stance. And when you were like, the only way you could get to this little island now, it's like the pirate island. It's like just nothing. They've turned into nothing now, which kind of sucks. But like you kind of felt like this like awesome warrior. Like you had to like, swim to this like island. And you're gonna go earn your, like you kind of go prove your worth. It was
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. Like, I think I I wouldn't want to go back to the way it was,
no, I'm not
but
saying that. I'm just
I
saying like
think that they
bring.
could have streamlined that sort of thing a little bit. Um, Many of the classes are very similar to each other now, which is, you kind of lose a little bit of your identity. But I remember like the first time I rolled a warlock and I had to like tame my Void Walker in
Yeah.
the basement of some rotten inn in Stormwind. That was pretty cool because it works for warlocks and it's may help set the identity you have and
Yeah.
also for those who enjoy role playing, it would be excellent. So I do wish that some of that stuff could be,
Can be
added
brought back.
back
Yeah.
into the game.
It's never going to do.
But I mean, obviously, without all those really annoying bits,
Hmm.
for certain quests, that was just crappy. If that makes any sense.
I kind of forgot
But
my
anyway,
main point.
I don't know. You just wanted to talk about how, the good old days, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
But we can talk about cooldown
I was gonna say I
usage.
was gonna transition into cooldowns, but I don't remember how I was gonna do it.
Well, I just did,
Son
so
of a
Go
which I
for it.
forgot. That sucks. Ascendance is one of the ones I've already talked about a couple times already, and
Hmm.
that's your Mist of Pandaria. That's what you're gonna get at 90. So it causes your lava burst to no longer have a cooldown, and your chain lightning to become lava beam. So it's more
It looks
powerful
awesome. Wow.
AoE ability. It's 3 minute
Mm.
cooldown. It should be used, when appropriate. You should use it if you don't need to reserve it for anything, like we've mentioned before, for burst damage phases or for heroism, bloodlust, whatever your whatever side you're on, you should be using it as frequently as possible. One of
Mm.
the things I think I mentioned in an earlier episode is that that's one of the problems that newer people have, especially coming to a new class, is that they don't use their cooldowns ever. Even like not even I'm not talking about like a raid environment. I'm just saying like ever. Like
Hmm.
like even with like leveling, it's like they pull like one thing at a time. Then go. They use their same 3 4 skills. And they do the thing, and it's just like, dude, like you could pull like 6 of these mobs and use some cooldowns and blow through this a little bit faster. But for some reason, people are just very scared to use them. It doesn't make any sense. It's like it's there for your benefit, not for like to ponder over when I should use this shit. It's like if anything,
Hmm.
you should have it on macroed. Just you should use it just whenever it's off cooldown, especially in a non-raid environment. So making sure to use these things. I mean, for single target damage, like first with Ascendance, for example, you get to spam Lava Burst. For AoE, you get to spam the Lava Beam. Um, you know, it's I mean, it's there for your benefit. Like, it's crazy to think that there's a lot of people that just don't use them. It's very silly to talk about, but it's a very common thing. You know?
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I've not really reflected
Like if you go
on
back, like I
this
mean, this is something
phenomenon.
I've learned, like going back and leveling, is that um, you know, people just use those same 3 4 abilities that gets them through their leveling, and they don't actually
Mm.
use. Like I do like a 5 man random or whatever, and like the tank isn't using like any of his cooldowns. The healer's not using any of his cooldowns. Not like you really have to because you have heirlooms, but like there are situations where sometimes the tank maybe pulls a little bit too much, and he like
Mm.
LOSs the healer, and the healer is
Yeah.
like not half paying attention. He's probably on like YouTube or something, and then suddenly he's in trouble and he doesn't even think to blow a
Mm.
cooldown. It's like I guarantee that might not even on his bars. Because he's like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do anything. I'm gonna press these 2 buttons and I'm fine. So
Yeah. Speaking of heirlooms, this is totally a side note again, but I would totally be okay with them just giving like an XP boost, but not have as good stats as they do. So things would still be a little harder, but you'll still get the XP boost. That could be fun. That could maybe challenge people a little bit
I
to
mean
to try new
now it's gonna
things.
cost you $60 just to buy a 90. So it's happened. WoW has sold out. It's finally
Well,
happened.
I'm just missing two classes at level 90,
Yeah.
so I doubt I'll be using that service.
Um. Something else I wanted to mention about Ascendance before we move on is
Hmm.
before you use it, make sure that your Flame Shock doesn't need to be refreshed. You want to use it right after you've Flame Shocked your target, and you want to try to stack it with Elemental Mastery if you have chosen that for your Tier 4 talent, because that synergizes very well together.
Mm.
So there you go.
There I go.
I said, there I go. There's
There
my.
you go.
There I go talking about Ascendance. I am now finished with it. Would you like to
Right.
talk about other cooldowns, or would you like me to continue?
No, we can talk about. I can talk about other cooldowns. I
Sure.
mean, we've already talked about the fire elemental and the earth elemental.
Mm,
And the fire elemental is obviously your strongest one, whereas the earth elemental is more of a defensive thing, I'd say. And then you've got, Spirit Walker's Grace. We've also talked about this, and it just allows you to run whilst casting. Excellent for Hagara in Dragon Soul. My goodness, Hagara. Thunderstorm is, an AoE DPS cooldown, but it also gives you mana back.
yep, that's nice. That's good if you don't have enough
So,
spirit and mana. You have mana issues.
mm. Stormlash Totem. Something we used quite frequently in my guild. Yeah. Uh, on on a strict rotation. It's every player within 40 odds does an additional damage basically. So it's really nice to combine with hero or other similar cooldowns. Uh,
That's pretty much it.
And also remember that your elementals benefit from spell power. So
Yeah, the more you
it's
have, the
really
better.
good to keep track of your Jade Spirit procs and all that.
Ta-da! See how easy that was? And then normally, so we talk about stats, and a lot
Mm.
of times it gets confusing and pretty complicated. But for this, it's actually very simple. Your hit,
Yeah.
which you won't have to worry about pretty soon anymore, but it's still 15%. Intellect, and then mastery. I mean, then after that, if you have a little extra, you can throw it into haste. But crit is terrible.
Luxury.
Crit is terrible.
Yeah.
Mastery is what you need. So
Yeah, and also, with the hit with hit cap, I mean, your elemental shamans is one of the classes that get hit from spirit. So, I doubt anyone's gonna have trouble getting to the hit cap.
yeah,
The opposite, most likely.
yeah. Hit cap's very
Uh,
easy to hit.
Especially if you're like a Draenei because they have a 1% hit extra as a racial. Like my Draenei Hunter just yeah. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She's got hit rating coming out for a year. It's just like
Wow. If you're on the
um
podcast, you need to watch to see the things we're laughing at. I think. Um,
I'm very animated, let's
you
just say
are,
that.
yeah, today, yeah.
Mm.
The reason why mastery is so important is because it can proc what's called elemental overload, and it'll
Hmm.
cause a lot of the abilities you use quite frequently. So lightning bolt, lava burst, chain lightning, and if you choose for your tier 6 talent elemental blast, it will actually trigger a second spell that will do 75% of 75% of the damage
Mm.
to the same target you just casted that first spell on. So if you hit it for lava burst, that procs is going to hit it again for 75% of the damage you just hit it for. So it's like getting a free spell, and that's the reason why a lot of people that play elemental shamans, their mastery is really high. It's like 65%, or you know what I mean. It's really really high, because you're just going to be pumping out of just, there's no other way to say it, just a shitload of damage. Even though it's still not optimal to play an elemental shaman. So there you go.
Well, screw the statistics. Just play what you think is fun. That's my motto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what LFR is for. Well, at this point in rating, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of play whatever you want. There's a good chance your tanks
Yeah.
or healers are kind of outgear it anyway, so whatever. Unless you're in heroic, you know, Garrosh progression, then I think you're good, bro. I think you're good,
Bro.
bro.
Well, so just a question to round up because we're actually almost done. Well, we are done,
We are done.
I think,
Mm.
with tonight's show.
Mm.
Which is your favorite race for a shaman?
Well, it depends on what you're gonna do. I think
Hmm.
the drain is nice because of the hit. Well, it depends on what side you're gonna play. If you're playing the alliance side, human's always nice because if you want a PvP, you can always use the I think it's what, every man for himself. So,
Humans can't be shamans.
oh my god, what am I thinking? Just pick the Draenei then. Fuck it.
It's a derp.
I got so many other things that I'm trying to focus on my screen right now. I'm just gonna go.
Yes, yes, blame that.
This is the thing though, is that my shaman it's an orc shaman. It's on like some server that I've played on like once, and I think it's like level 13. So my shaman. That's why you don't play shamans. Shamans are
Don't
terrible.
let your ignorance show,
Damn
Sean.
it. Sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, but yeah, you on the alliance side, you got the Draenei's, you got the dwarves, and you got the pandas. Um, and for me, my shaman is a dwarf because I like their casting animations. Um, but I mean, pandas have really cute totems. But on the horde side, I would probably go with the goblin because their mechanical totems are awesome.
I don't Man, I can't believe I thought that you could be a human shaman. What the hell is wrong with me?
I don't know. Have you eaten?
No, that is kind
Ah,
of a problem.
it is the blood sugar then. Yeah,
Eh,
not getting any.
Noob
He
show,
always does
noob
this.
show host, been playing
Yeah,
for 10 years, doesn't know basic information.
yeah.
LOL.
Well, on that note, maybe it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah,
Human shamans, Blizzard, make it happen.
yeah,
Sean
right.
make said it.
I swear to
It needs
God.
to be said.
Now,
Make him.
I'm gonna look like a genius one day. I'm
Yeah.
calling this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Prediction.
try to make it not seem so obvious that I'm retarded right now. All right, your deal. Anything you want to say
No,
before I close the
I'm
stream?
good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in case you had noticed, um, Twitter handles are up here. Show handle is right there. And if you're listening on the podcast, it's at Velice, Vliice, at A Merling. I gotta move the thing over so I can actually read it. AMEURLANG. And at Edge_BlizzProTV is the actual account that her and I both manage, so you can see when we go live. If there's updates, cancellations, promotions to whatever. I don't know. We're not like super active on that account because I don't know why. I should start tweeting for that more. I'm really bad at Twitter. If you hadn't noticed, you don't watch like any of the other episodes. Like, you should know I'm pretty terrible at Twitter. So
Yeah, Sean's pretty noobish when it comes to Twitter.
that's true. But you're on Stitcher Radio now, so you can go search us at The Edge. So you can give us some love over there if you want to take us on the go. I know a lot of you guys travel and that kind of stuff are doing multiple things at a time, so it's cool. If you want to give us a shout out, you can always email us, edge@blizzpro.com. So, until next week, again, we don't really have a set schedule of what we're going to do, what we're going to cover, so we just kind of do it whatever we feel like it because it's our damn show and we can do that. So, but if you have a suggestion, you can always tweet it to us, email it to us, and we will definitely look into it. Cool?
Happy to take suggestions, yes.
Of course, as always. Until next week, guys, have a good night.
Bye.